Now, the reason I saw episode 2 was because I didn't consider episode 1 a fair representation of the show. It was more of a setup, a prologue. Episode 2 is when episode 2 is basically the premise of the show. And I want to be fair, and putting all the stupid in the show aside, as for the show itself, okay, bear with me. When the Toronto Raptors first started in like the mid 90s, mid to late 90s, I can't remember. The Raptor games weren't promoted as come see the Raptors, come see the star players of the Raptors team. Raptor games were promoted as come to a Raptors game and see the Bulls play. Come to the Raptors games so you can see the Spurs or the Lakers or the Knicks or the Pistons. Come to a Raptors game to see the other team that you would care about, because nobody knew or cared about the Toronto Raptors, especially in their first few seasons. That's the impression I got with this show. The show is going, don't come to this show to see She-Hulk, because you probably don't really care about She-Hulk. Don't watch this show because of the premise of the show, because we suck at this. We suck at this premise. We don't know what we're doing. Don't watch this show because of the comedy, because it's not funny. We don't know what the hell we're doing. Don't come to this show for the actual show. Don't watch this show for She-Hulk. Come watch this show because we got the Abomination. At least you can see the Abomination. And that's pretty pathetic. The draw of this show, because the show is establishing this. The show isn't hiding it. The show is going, the highlight of the show, the draw of the show is we have the Abomination. So please watch this show because of the Abomination. That's my impression of this show, of this episode and this show. Even the show is going, don't watch the show for the premise, the comedy, the courtroom aspect. Don't even watch this show for Jen. Watch it for all the cameos that we're going to have. Again, it's like, eventually we're going to have Daredevil. Watch that episode so that you can see Daredevil. Whatever supervillains they're going to have, watch the episode so that you can see what supervillains, Jen is going to represent. That's my impression of this show and of episode 2. So, yeah, I don't have high hopes for this show, and I really don't care because I'm not a fan of the Abomination. Like it's an Easter egg that is the premise of this episode. It doesn't work for me. As for this, okay, also. I did like Dennis. Because Dennis goes, there's a hot chick over there. I'm going to go talk to it. I love Dennis. So Dennis is good. And then he goes, nepotism. That's how you got the job. That was funny. That I liked. I liked Dennis. Everybody else, I had no interest in. Oh, and the other thing, not only did this piss me off, but it further proves my point. Near the end of the episode, you see the Hulk in the spaceship that attacked them in episode 1. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, how? Why? What the hell's going on? And the show's going, hey, want to find out what happens to the Hulk? Keep watching the show. Don't worry if you don't care. You don't care about She-Hulk? Don't worry about it. Don't want to watch the show because of the courtroom aspect of it? Don't worry about it. Don't want to watch the show because you're not interested in the comedy? Don't worry about it. Watch the show to see what happens with the Abomination, and watch the show so that you can find out what happens with the Hulk. It's like, oh my, this is it's so blatant. It's pathetic. So no, the show is a joke. The show is a joke in and of itself. As for the stupid, even the stupid helps establish, come watch this show for the Abomination. Because at the end of episode 1, you have Titania, who throws a desk at the jury, and it's like, why? Who is she? What's going to happen with her? And the show's going, the show basically tries to gloss over Titania because apparently she's just an influencer. Don't worry about Titania. We got the Abomination. And it's like, no, I want to know about what happened with Titania. Why did she burst into the courtroom? Why did she attack the jury? What happened with her? But it's like, no, we don't think anybody actually cares about Titania. So we're just going to have it be like a little cameo thing. And we're just going to focus on the Abomination. Yeah, that was ridiculous. The other issue I had with this episode, and I don't know if it's going to be just in this episode because it also happened in episode 1. So I don't know if it's going to be continuous throughout the show, is this show is so desperate and so focused on trying to establish some kind of downside and disadvantage of being She-Hulk. And they don't care how weak it is and how pathetic it is, because this show feels that they have to somehow have, the She-Hulk comparable to the Hulk. And the irony of it is, Jen doesn't want to be compared to her cousin, yet this show is going out of its way to try to compare Jen to her cousin. So it's kind of funny because Jen's biggest problem are the writers of this show. It's not even the character. It's just ridiculous. In conclusion, I guess, I'm not really interested in the show. I don't care about the show. But I am going to still watch the show because even though I don't care about She-Hulk, even though I don't care about the premise of the show, I want to know what the hell's going on with the Hulk and the spaceship. Because guaranteed that's going to have that's going to be the only thing in this show that's going to have any significance. Because I'm calling it right now. It's going to have some connection to either Phase 5 or some movie in Phase 5, which I think which I find funny because guaranteed if I end up going through it, it's going to be some bullshit stupid I'm going to end up bitching about anyway. But yeah, I know. I mean, I'll watch the show. I doubt I'll make any more videos of it unless I'm going to bitch about the Hulk. But yeah, the only thing I care about the only reason I'll end up watching the show is because I want to know what the hell's going on with the Hulk. I don't care about She-Hulk. I don't care about the comedy. I do like Dennis. I will be watching. I love this. I get to be so misogynistic in this. I will be watching a female-led show for the two male characters in the show, the Hulk and Dennis. That's why I'm watching the show. Those are the only two characters I care about in this show. Oh, God. I love it. It's hilarious. Anyway, yeah, that's it. There's nothing else. I mean, I could talk about some of the various stupid, but again, it's not worth it. The whole show itself doesn't even care about itself, so why should I even bother? Yeah, that's it for me on episode 2. Again, maybe episode 3 will be interesting, but I doubt it'll even be worth making a video on. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm done. I'm good. I'm out of here. See ya.